Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, known simply as Mies, was a pupil of Peter Behrens, architect of the turbine factory in Berlin that we studied, the building with the exoskeletal columns and knuckle joints. His famous slogans were, "Less is more," meaning that it was important to him to remove any unnecessary or superfluous elements, and "God is in the details," meaning that the subtleties of the buildings, understated as they were very important to him. This photograph of the model of the unbuilt glass skyscraper contrasts the modern high-rise with the deteriorated 19th century buildings in post-World War I Berlin. Its undulating glass membrane, or curtain wall, simply encloses the spaces and is suspended from the edges of the concrete floor slabs. The columns that support the slabs are set back within the enclosed spaces so that they're not visible from the outside. The glass skyscraper relates to the sculpture of the same era in that both have continuous vertical glass elements punctuated by parallel horizontal opaque elements. The brick house has a rhythmic assemblage of cubes, some solid, others transparent. Its floor plan, a dynamic arrangement of L and T-shaped walls, evokes the geometric pattern of the constructivist or de style painting beside it. The overlapping spaces and broken corners of the country house's floor plan are descended from Wright's more symmetrical Greek cross floor plan at the Willits House, where Wright explored overlapping, interpenetrating spaces, what became known as the deconstruction of the box. An outgrowth of the country house, the pavilion, designed to welcome the King and Queen of Spain to the Barcelona International Exposition, features a related asymmetrical dynamic rhythm in its plan. In the pavilion, structure and enclosure are entirely separate. The chrome-plated cruciform columns, see the close-up of a column in the lower left, support the roof slab and are independent of the enclosing marble walls. The Chicago apartment buildings were the first steel and glass towers in the United States. They are positioned asymmetrically at right angles to each other, as illustrated in the site plan at the lower left. Both towers are lifted off the ground and have small, recessed, glass-enclosed lobbies entered beneath cantilevered canopies. The floor plan shows us the corner with its wide flange columns supporting the floor slabs and the smaller I-beam mullions, they look like capital I's, don't they, separating the windows. The I-beam mullions are a good example of the subtle details Mies liked. They give texture to the exterior wall and at the same time stiffen the otherwise fragile glass enclosure. The Union Carbide building is so similar that Wright mockingly called his architects Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill the three blind Mieses. But is it identical? Note the windows in Union Carbide that wrap around the corners, and the more solid sections, especially at the top, that contain ventilation equipment. The bronze-sheathed and tinted glass Seagram building, commissioned by the Montreal distillers, is set back from Park Avenue to create a plaza and pay homage to McKim, Mead and White's racket and tennis club across the avenue. It features all of the signature elements of a Mies tower. Its floor planes that extend from the interior all the way to the curb. The tower is raised off the ground and is entered beneath a cantilevered canopy. The glass curtain wall features I-beam mullions, and the corner columns are exposed, creating a serrated corner. The floor plan at the top center diagram shows us the serrated corner. The sequin building relates to Sullivan's Wainwright building in its vertical emphasis and use of mullions to accentuate verticality. But the first true curtain wall seen in the United States is diagonally across the street in Lever House. Its blue-green vision glass encloses the workspaces, and darker opaque glass spandrel panels enclose the plenum space. The plenum space between floors contains all the mechanical systems of modern high-rises, such as cabling, ductwork, and plumbing. Lever House contains a pavilion in the shape of a hollow rectangle, raised off the ground, asymmetrically related to the tower, which appears to float above it because of its slightly cantilevered floor slabs. Crown Hall, endowed by the same family as the noted Ida Crown Academy, was built for the School of Architecture at IIT, the Illinois Institute of Technology. Its main floor space is column-free because the roof is suspended from the underside of trestles. See the construction photo top center. Very similar to the train trestles that support the tracks of the L train directly across the street from the campus. If Mies's towers relate to Gothic architecture in their vertical sweep, the pavilion of Crown Hall, with its broad set of steps and perfect reposeful symmetry, evokes classical temples. Although completed later, Farnsworth House is said to have begun as a sketch on a cocktail napkin by Mies in 1946. It is a pure layer of space, sandwiched between ceiling and floor slabs. The house is one open space with cabinetry in the center containing fireplace, kitchen, and 2 bathrooms. In this house, the window becomes the wall, and the wall is merely the thinnest of screens between inside and outside. The glass house is also one open space. Its core is brick and contains the bathroom and fireplace. The kitchen is a freestanding counter. Although both are steel and glass houses, representing the ideal of universal space, can you take a close look and determine how they differ? Here are some clues. Note the relation of each house to the ground, its color, the location of its entry, and the position of the columns in relation to the floor and roof slabs.